Hey, welcome to the Earn It Podcast, making it to and through nursing school. I am your host, and this is a morning motivation episode. Today is Monday, January 27th, and it's time to get motivated. Today's quote is, quote, "A river cuts through rock not because of its power, but because of its persistence." Again, that's a river cuts through rock not because of its power, but because of its persistence. And that's a quote by James N. Watkins. So what does this really mean for us, right? We, especially today, we kind of live in an instant gratification society, and something as difficult as nursing school or even doing your pre-nursing kind of prerequisites, you kind of feel like you're not going anywhere sometimes. You kind of feel like you're starting or in the middle of something that's going to take forever. In the case of both prereqs and nursing school, that also means that you're in a very challenging time, a very difficult time, and it's difficult to navigate. It's difficult to kind of balance work, life, and school together and do very well in all of those things without having any of those things fall apart, right? So I thought this was a good quote because it's really easy sometimes to forget the big picture of things. So those of you who have a lot of anxiety right now, obviously it's the beginning of either first or new semester of nursing school, or maybe you're somewhere in the middle of prereqs, you're having a really difficult time adjusting. You're having a really difficult time get the hang of things. What you need to think about is the long term of what you're working toward and just what of an impact that makes. Now, I'm here to tell you that you're already doing that, but you're doing it the wrong way. You have so much anxiety, especially those nursing school folks, right? That fear of failure is so much because the higher your anxiety is, the more you know what exactly is at stake here. For some of that means, that's the difference between, going on vacation and not going on vacation. For some people, that's the difference in not working 80 hours a week. For some people, that means, how am I supposed to feed these children? How am I supposed to pay my car payment? What's going to happen if my car breaks down? Am I ever going to own a home? What's going to happen if something really big needs to be fixed in the place that I'm living? What if I need to move across the country for some strange reason, right? There's so much of that. There is so much at stake, but you're forgetting the good part of that, what's at stake. And that is the end result. And the more you visualize it, the better it's going to be for you. You need to visualize the good side of that, right? Because that's what you're working for. You're working towards something that is barely comparable to the life that you're currently living right now. And for those of you, like me personally, that means a gateway into going on to be a practitioner, have a private practice. For you, that could be purely financial, or it could be wanting to move to a specific part of the country or the world, because with nursing, you can go anywhere or do anything. Maybe you want to get into management and healthcare. Maybe you want to work in hospice. You just really are good at being a patient advocate. Whatever that is, you need to realize. Stop realizing so much what's at stake and realize what you're moving toward. What is it that you're really working for? And then you need to realize, and going back to the original point, going back to the quote, is that gets there, you get there by persisting for longer. This isn't a sprint. It's a fast but steady and long marathon. And that's what here's if you like the tough love approach. If you don't, I'm sorry. But here's another thing about it. This is exactly what you signed up for. So embrace it. The opportunity, I'm talking again, I know some pre-nursing folks listen to this, but my nursing school folks, what you have to realize is you are in the top of the top right now, okay? You beat out hundreds of other people just in the application process. Now, as far as even getting to that process, there's thousands of people that are one day want to do it, but never are going to get around to it, never even going to get around to their prerequisites. Those people that done their prerequisites, but they're not quote unquote ready to go into nursing school yet. There's so many reasons. There's so many people that don't get to be where you are now, you are in an extremely privileged position. And in order to be in that position, you have to have certain characteristics. And what I'm introducing to you now is that you need to add persistence into your arsenal. You need to realize what the long term is. The short term effort is important, but you're not going to shortcut yourself into remembering the material that you need to, not just for tests, but for 2 years when you take the NCLEX or for the rest of your life. You don't get there by sprinting there. You don't get there by shortcuts, and you don't get there by how smart you are or how dumb you think you are. So that's another thing is like, oh, I don't think I'm cut out for this. You're cut out for it because you made it into the program. You don't just get handed a letter that says you're in nursing school. You had to earn that damn spot. So what you need to realize is that you are actually capable. And for you, for this quote, the analogy of power might seem to you like intelligence, right? Because the more intelligent you are, the easier nursing school should be. However, what this is saying, and I happen to agree with it, is if you made it into the program, you have what it takes to make it through. The question is how persistent are you going to be? It might, and here's another thing, it might take you 5 more hours than someone else to do it, but the end result is ultimately the same. It's that both of you make it through that class. Don't compare yourself with anybody else. I've talked to this in previous podcast episodes, but it's really important. So you need to focus more on the persistence and not how smart you should be, how fast you think you should be doing X, Y, or Z. You need to be persistent. If you're not getting something, go over it again. Don't give up. Go over it again. Don't give up. Go over it again, because that's what persistence is. So that's all I'm going to say in closing. Thank you so much for getting motivated with the Earn It podcast today. Go out there and earn it today. If you enjoy this episode, please follow and please share with other people. We need more people. If you're interested in being on the podcast, there is a link in the description of this podcast so you can fill out a form and be a guest on the podcast. Student, nurses, teachers, whoever you are, we want you on here. We want to have a conversation about it. Let's work through things that we're all kind of working through together. Maybe bring up some different perspectives that everyone might benefit from, or maybe you just want to share your story on here. Feel free to do so anonymously. You don't know who I am, and I host the damn show. So if you want to come on, but you don't want anybody to know who you are, that's also fine. Whatever you want to do. So the link's in there. Go out there and get it.